Hey, everybody, welcome to Behind the Mic. I'm Nina Taylor, and I'm sitting here with, oh my goodness, one of gospel music royalty. Charles Woolfork is in the house. He is back, and we're so excited about it. How you doing?
I am doing well, my friend. You're looking amazing. It is such a
You.
joy to see you again, and to be on behind the mic. I'm in the studio with all kind of microphones we can pull in, and
Yeah.
all of that podcast behind me, recording in
Mhm.
front of me. But it is a blessing indeed to be with you today.
Well, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, what are we, 25 years-ish around?
It's got 20 about 25 years and about 35 pounds for me. I can't speak for you, but
Can't do that. I'm not going there with you, right?
yeah.
Um, why'd you take everybody back a few pounds ago, a few years ago, just to your beginnings in gospel music?
Well, we of course were a group at one time. Charles Woolfork and the Praise Covenant Choir discovered
Yes.
at the New Artist Showcase
Uh-huh.
at GMWA in 1994 in
Mhm.
Indianapolis, Indiana. Group of about 40 young people got on a rented bus and went up there, and nobody told us we had to scrape up the performance fee. We got there, and folks was pulling money out of here and out of everywhere else, and we scraped up the fee, scraped up our little McDonald's money, and sang. And we were signed that night by Benson Music Group, Tara McGee,
Mhm.
Gloria Tyler Mallory, that whole crew. And from there, it just went haywire. It went crazy. Fred Hammond produced the first project, of course, titled "Giving Up the Praise,"
Yes.
and it was something really pioneering at the time because there were not a whole bunch of contemporary young people
Mhm.
with national recording deals like that. It was so difficult. They were like, I don't know where we're gonna play this at on the radio. There's
Mhm.
no I mean, long before other folk were doing it, there were some bass lines and things that
Yeah.
Fred threw in, and we transitioned to Marks and Records in the mid '90s and did a few projects with them, and now I'm the proud owner of my own label,
Mhm.
Eternity Music Group, where the new
Awesome.
projects are coming out.
Wonderful. Now, I remember we met back in what, 96, 97. Well, 97 is
Mhm.
when I went to gospel music, and your music was one of the first ones we got along with Fred Hammond's project, and we had a lot of commission, Clark Sisters. Everybody said, "Oh, we had no idea who anybody was." And you were just so nice. You even came to town and you churches, and we were like, "Oh, this guy is awesome." And just the rest is history. Tell everybody about those early days of touring and
uh,
some of the places you went, some of the people you toured with.
Wow, our very first engagement, I always like to tell this story because our very first engagement that the record label set up for us was a promo visit to Buffalo, New York, and it was in February of
Oh,
95.
well, they
And
have 15 feet of snow.
oh no, we got
Uh,
there, and they
mhm.
I did my basic. I'm not my basic training. I was in the Army at Fort Drum, so I was very aware of Lake Ontario and the snow. And we're
Yeah.
here in Cleveland, in the Cleveland area, so we wasn't thinking too much about it. It was a couple inches on snow. We drove up, and
Mhm.
by the time we got there, it was 4 feet of snow on the ground, literally.
Oh, yeah.
Cars were stuck and stranded and snowed over. But the days of touring, jumping in a couple of 15 passenger vans, and everybody just singing their throat dry all the way on the road. It was a young people group. I could not get them
Yeah.
to be quiet for nothing. So they talked getting on the vans, while we was on the vans, at the venue, all the way home. And I was one of the drivers. I couldn't get any rest. Anybody that's ever toured with young people, you
Mhm.
know what that's like. But we were all over the country. Bobby Jones, Teen Summit, uh, all of the Announcers Guild stuff. We would come in, and I just remember walking into Disney one year with Bobby Jones, and he turned around. We did the Bobby Jones Gospel Show on BT. He turned around. He said, "Lord have mercy, that there go Charles Woodford and his choir." And we felt like we arrived. We were like, Bobby Jones know who we are. But it's because of people got to know us because before God's Property, I'll say it, before there was a God's Property,
Mhm,
before Ty Tribbett,
mhm,
we were kind of some of the pioneers of moving and
mhm,
dancing and choreography with the choir. If you saw Sister Act 2, that's exactly how my choir was on stage. We did all the latest stuff, and boy, that
mhm,
could be a good segue for the William Murphy stuff going on right now, but let's stick a pin in that. Because my group was literally, we were ostracized and talked about and criticized and
mm,
not played on purpose, and a lot of the time we were looked over for opportunities and engagements, but to see the landscape of gospel change, because I know what those young people put into it and sacrifice, it's a blessing. The genre is wide open right now. That's a good thing to some people and a terrible thing to other folk. But it was great in the early days, all except the promoters who would get you all hyped up to come to the church or the venue. Never happened with Nina Taylor event though. But they tell you we're gonna have 10,000 people there, and we got $20,000. You get there
yeah.
and there's 19 people and just as many dollars. So it was tough in the day, but it shaped you, it humbled you, it made you appreciate the genre and the ministry aspect of what you were doing for sure.
Well, I think back then, a lot of the people who were doing the gospel shows were kind of like doing all the shows. They weren't really, what's a good word? Church folk. And they
They was
kind of,
promoters.
they were strictly promoters and they were doing things the way they do things,
Yeah, yeah.
not like, now where you can get people that are actually, in the life per se,
Oh yeah.
not trying to treat people like that anymore. Yeah.
Especially when you go south of Tennessee,
Oops.
and you
Okay.
between Florida and
Uh-huh.
it's a different world when you
Yeah.
toured down there, and when they
Yeah.
called it the Chitlin Circuit affectionately, and you went down there and did what you had to do. You grinded and you made your name known, and you
Oh,
visited
yeah.
everybody. You shook hands, you took
Mhm.
pictures, you signed CDs. That's those square things for anybody watching it. Don't the square with the disc in it, that a
Yeah.
CD. A lot of people don't know what that is no more. So uh,
Absolutely.
your tapes and CDs, and you just made
Mhm.
a life on the road.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about some of the music which you've had. Your body of work is incredible. It's like, okay, I'm gonna put together a show about you, and my God, I don't know where to start. Right. So let's talk about some of the music, some of your favorites too. Mhm.
Ooh, so I just got this question in another interview earlier this week. What's your favorite Charles Woolfork song? And I learned my lesson. The favorite Charles Woolfork song is the brand new one, and we'll talk about
Oh,
that in a minute. I ain't talking
absolutely.
about I ain't talking about something else right now. I'm
Uh-huh.
talking about
Yeah.
walking the light, and we'll talk
Yeah.
about it in a moment. But I would
Uh,
have to say that first album with the choir, and the reason being, it was our dream to work with Fred Hammond. We were given three producers to choose
yeah.
from, Sanchez Harley and
Mhm.
oh God, Kevin Bond, and
Oh, yeah.
Fred was not even on the list. And I went to the
Yeah.
record label and I said, I have a vision for something absolutely brand new, and
Mhm.
nobody I think can bring that to fruition like the great and marvelous Fred Hammond. Iconic voice, iconic worshiper, iconic
Mhm.
group, iconic writer, bass player, and he
Mhm.
was close. The record label said, "Oh, he right up the road. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
Fred Hammond."
Mhm. Mhm.
um, and then I'd have to say the Second Coming project with Aaron Lindsay. We did a lot of work, meeting a lot of great musicians, Marvin Sapp,
Mhm.
and different people. One of my utmost favorite songs is a song that I was able to write for Karen Clark Sheard called "Have Your Way." And it was really one of the first worship impact songs that I've done on
Mhm.
that level. That project was Grammy nominated from Karen that year, so it was just a blessing to work with her. The True to God album is always one with all of the. I think that's where you came to know me at the True to God
No,
album,
we had the Second Coming album was the first one
Second
we got.
Coming, Second
Yeah,
Coming,
and then yeah, that was the first one we got because remember we
and
we came in the game at 97. Yeah.
oh yeah, well, the True to God album is so
Mhm.
unique because it was the first project with a Caribbean song,
Mhm.
Jehovah Dance, and that song people thought I was of
Mhm.
Caribbean heritage for the longest.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're gonna book the Jamaican guy, and the Jamaicans was like, "Your man no Jamaican, you know, he's no
I
Jamaican."
wonder what people calling the radio station say, would you play what were they calling it? Jamaica, what were they call it? Jamaica dance or
Play
they
the
were
yeah the
calling it. Yeah, I was like, what? And that's what everybody was calling it, Jamaica dance.
the
And I said,
Jamaican dance.
it's not the name of the song. And they
uh, uh, until you get around some real Jamaicans, they say, "Hey, what's if now you know not talking about Jamaica? You're not saying no, you're not singing. You sing like a foreign." And they would call me foreign to my, and it was cool because they accepted me
uh,
because of the respect for the culture, and we went on to do. It was a tribute thing. I did Caribbean songs on every project that I put out for that fan base in London and Africa and the Caribbean. And we haven't stopped. As Walking the Light will attest to that fact today.
absolutely. So you've had the opportunity to go there. Did you feel strange about doing the music down there, the Caribbean music?
No, it was so weird back in the day. They didn't want you to come down there and do their music. They
Yeah.
wanted to hear
Yeah.
they wanted to hear the choir stuff, the American music, the foreign, like they call it. No, don't come and sing a Jamaican song. We want to hear the foreign. We want to hear the foreign. So, and I'm like, what? Y'all don't want to hear Jehovah Dance? No, no, we're not
No,
on here. No, we're not on that song. We want to hear some other. So
absolutely.
I was singing everything. Andre Crouch, Richard Smallwood, Fred Hammond stuff, John P. Key stuff. So they did in certain areas of the Caribbean. They love Jehovah Dance. Definitely, it was really really big in England. And when I went there to the Brixton area, you're familiar with Brixton, of course. John Francis Church at that time, Bishop John Francis, he may have had 120 members at that time. It was a
Mm.
small wooden floor church in Brixton, and the young people were just
They just
jam
love.
packed in there. Oh
Mhm.
my God, that track started, and you'd have thought it was Chris Brown or somebody, so,
Yeah,
somebody up in there.
how they just love American music. My first time there was in 1996, and then I went back again in 2012, and I went
Mm.
there with a choir in 2012. Now, that's the only way I could go. I wasn't even in the choir, I didn't know none of the songs, but I I was like, well, give them to me on the plane. We'll have time to learn them. And
Time to learn it, right?
and some of the people who came, they were like, Americans are coming, American come. We're like, really? Y'all excited about seeing us? So when we got off the plane, it was 6 in the morning, but it was like five, or we were already an hour late for church when we got off the
Oh yeah,
plane. So we had
yeah.
to leave from the plane and go all the way to the church like that. Right?
Oh, uh,
So we're in the car
uh,
going,
yeah. Trying to get yourself together, and that time change, it catches up with you
yeah.
right when you land.
Mhm,
I remember being down in Trafalgar Square and walking around, seeing
mhm,
some of the shops. I went over to Harrods and I wanted to do some shopping. I stepped off the curb and I didn't look to my left. In America, you're
mhm.
told look to your right, then your left. Well, they drive on the opposite side of the street.
Yeah, which was
Almost
making me
got killed.
dizzy.
Almost got killed. Almost got killed by one of them famous iconic taxis when I stepped off and didn't look the right way. But we made it out, and I was there. I got to tour that first time to London with the likes of Dietrich Haddon and Vashawn Mitchell, Marvin Sapp. It was a ton of us artists that went over, and I gotta say they loved me, and I loved them right back. And it's been that kind of situation ever since.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, you took a little break here from the music industry. We won't go into why, even though I want to know.
No, you can ask me, or we can wait for Cat Williams to tell all about it next week. What you want to do?
It's up to you. I mean, a lot of people do that. I spoke with Darwin Hobbs 2 years ago, and he hadn't recorded for 10 years. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, so I think every now and then I took 5 years out of radio, just needed,
Hmm.
sometimes you just need a little break and then you miss it, and here you come. So you took a
Oh
little
yeah.
break and now you're back. And what did something happen, or, it's like, it's just time. I miss it.
No, let me tell you. I think that the break was necessary. Let me just get that straight right now
Yeah.
because you've been in the industry as long as I have. I'm celebrating 35 years in
Mm,
professional music coming up.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, in all 35 years, you can set your watch to what's happening within the industry. Nothing, it's the different players, but the same old thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what it started to do was really, really, really mess with me and make me not appreciate the call and the anointing that God had placed in my life to create, to simply be a mouthpiece of His.
Mm-hmm.
It turned into, the early days of social media, the early days of the internet. It turned into, I've got to do it because everybody is doing
Yeah.
X,
Every
Y, and Z. You wanted
right.
to keep up with the Freds and the Marvin Sapps and the Hezekiah Walkers and all that. And one thing that I failed to remember was I was an artist just like them. They, of course, a bigger profile for them, but
Mm-hmm.
me in my world, I was just as big to the people that I served in ministry. But
Right.
when I tell you people in ministry, they don't realize, you may not realize how burnout is so real for
Mm-hmm.
artists, for pastors, for people that serve. And when you have a choir, especially, you're dealing with all of those personalities,
Mm-hmm.
not only the personalities, the issues at their home, or if they're going through relationship issues, you going through relationship issues. They dealing with financial issues. You all of a sudden are dealing with it. So yeah, I needed to get away, separate myself, and the Bible even tells us, "Come out from among them and be separate." I had to do that with church folk, with the industry, with the gospel music industry as a whole, because I couldn't recognize myself and didn't remember why I was even doing it. Was it for my grandmama? Was it to please my mother? Because I could sing, was out here. And so I just took some time, some reflective time in ministry, to really just reset my life. And there's nothing wrong. And I'll tell anybody, like Suge said in The New Color Purple, if you need to reset, honey, push the button. I'm telling you, nothing wrong with hitting that reset button. And
Yeah.
when you do that and you rest in God and you rest in what it is that He really foundationally created you to do, He'll prepare you to come back in the right way. I
Right.
literally woke up 4 days before my birthday on December. My birthday is December 19th. I woke up and told my wife, my beautiful wife Tamara, "Hey, girl," because I know she gonna watch this. So Tamara, we woke up and we were just talking, having coffee. We both work from home.
Mm-hmm.
So I logged on to my system. I own and operate my own human resources company.
Mm-hmm.
So I logged onto the system and it just washed over me. The lyrics to this new song just kept, and it was like that with my first album. I wrote a lot of it when I was in the army overseas, or when, the songs would just come to you, and they were songs that you knew God dropped on you. It was no other thing. I did not stop from that Tuesday, I think it was, the Thursday. I said, I'm gonna go. And I
It
told her,
comes
I went
quick.
downstairs and
Like it's
I
like,
said,
mhm.
huh?
I said it came quick. You just kept.
It I mean, absolutely, one step after the other. I said, I think I want to release a song for my birthday. And she just kind of looked. She said,
Like,
"You
uh,
sure? You sure you ready to go back?" And I thought
mhm.
the industry was this, the industry was that. I said, whatever it is, it is. I said, all I know is God is saying to do this song. And the results came like 4 days later. The song was done, and I think I was calling you like, "Hey, Nina, I got another one." So, you have always been at the forefront of breaking new things from me and from my groups in the past. So I knew you could appreciate the story. I know you know me
Yes.
beyond the story. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't want to trust it to just anybody, because I feel the song is just that special. So
I think when a song comes to you like that, I think everybody, because everybody that I've spoken to about it, they're like so excited and so happy. Oh, I'm so glad he's back. So I
it,
think,
that's the blessed part.
mhm,
And it made me cry literally. I cried tears when somebody was like, "Man, you belong.
yeah,
You deserve it. You've paid your dues. You've been in the industry, forever." They was like, "Last time I seen you, your face was black though." So I, I said, "Well, Father Time is undefeated." So all I can do is come back, and I might look a little old and gray. I can still move around though. I get up there in front of my choir and do my thing. So,
do you
but
remember when you did our anniversary concert and you opened up for John P. Key?
oh, wow. And I think I told you that was historic because the very first artist that we ever opened for at the Public Hall Auditorium in Cleveland, Ohio, was John P. Key.
Wow.
And he, back then he wouldn't come off the bus until it was time for him to come on. He would knock that concert out and be right back on the bus, and he
Hmm.
came off the bus to the door when we was doing, I think it was "If I Be Lifted," the song Jesus said it, and then they was sliding, doing little TLC moves and stuff, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Lord have mercy, who's chilling up here?" He said, "Man, y'all almost made me not want to go." He was so nice to us,
Yeah.
adopted us for a while. He taught me a lot, taught me a whole lot about the industry
Yeah.
early on, the do's and don'ts. Like I said, especially that there's a different set of rules for touring in certain parts of the country. But
Oh,
it was great to have mentorship like that from somebody like John P. Key. But Columbus was special. It was wall to wall, and oh, it was just next level. I think I only had 3 singers that day in the band.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it was because we were doing more of the group oriented stuff. But
Hmm.
oh man, it was always a joy to come to Columbus, and definitely for you and great people at the radio stations that you were with previously. So
Wow, that was a great concert. I still have it on a video, on a video.
we need
I
to
gotta
go to
figure
the
out
we
a
need to
way.
go to the Goodwill and get one of the machines to play that so that I can copy
Oh no, we got one downstairs. We got
it.
we
It's
have one.
amazing. My 13-year-old was like, "Well, how did y'all listen to music in your car back in the day? You had to put one of them circle things, one of them albums. You
Yeah,
had to put an album." I said, "No, not quite an album. We didn't have to
yeah.
put albums in the dashboard. That's a CD." He didn't know. Um, but it's just amazing how
Yeah,
time is good to some and bad to others. But
yeah.
God left me here. Last year was kind of tumultuous with my health, and I would tell
Wow.
anybody that's listening to this, take care
Yeah.
of your health. Don't
Oh
just
yeah.
rest on your laurels because you
Yeah.
love the Lord.
Hmm.
Don't be a good steward over your body. Get your
Oh yeah.
checkups and check your blood pressure.
You
Stop
have to tell
eating.
men. I think you have to tell men more that than women. I'm in a podcast Saturday about the same thing about men. What can they do to be better to themselves? Yeah.
And Nina, it jumped up on me so fast. You feel
Yeah.
good one day, and the next day, it's pains all over your body. And the
Yeah.
old folks say, "Well, as long as you're feeling them pains, you know you're still alive." I don't want to
Oh
feel the
yeah.
pain. Just let me be
Absolutely.
alive. I don't need to
Absolutely.
feel the pain. But taking care of your health, mentally, physically, spiritually, that threefold nature of your holistic man. I'm not
Mhm.
doing holistic or new age talk about medicine and care, but that holistic man, that whole man, your body, your soul, your spirit, you really, really, really have to stay on top of the maintenance of all of it. I look at my gray beard, like I was so glad it came in style, and my wife was like, "Use a silver fox now." I was like, "Oh Lord." I, I had to tell her I'm just so glad to be here because we lost so many good people to COVID. I was the only one in my house that never caught COVID. My wife, my children caught it. They were down bad with it, but thanks be to God, everybody made it out.
Oh yeah.
Um, and it's just symbolic of how good God will be when you take the guidance and direction to be good stewards over what He's given you. So,
Yes. Amen goes right there. All right. So the new song, uh
uh, uh,
it, we just went into okay, so is there going to be an album following up with it?
there is an album coming, and it's just when I get nervous, I kind of scratch this. I've always done this since I was like 3 or 4 years old. When I'm talking
Mhm.
about me, it's just kind of I don't normally do these interviews where you can see me, so I can act
Yes.
crazy and
You gotta get used to
so, but no, the new song it's called "Walk in the Light,"
Mhm.
and then there's a Yoruba phraseology on the end of it, "Mashale." In Yoruba, in Nigeria, the Yoruban phrase "Iyanu Masale" means miracles are happening or miracles are happening now.
Yes.
So everybody's familiar with this song, "Walk in the Light." Beautiful. I don't know why that came to me. It was one of my grandmother's favorite songs. I put a different twist on it with an Afrobeat feel.
Mhm.
So the end of it where it is it turns around and it's oh my chalet, chalet, chalet. It's saying We need your love. That miracle is happening now. We need your presence. That miracle is happening now. So
Mhm.
it's not like prosperity preaching where I'm telling you just
Right.
name it and claim it. There is
Mhm.
some work you have to do to get the blessing that God says belongs to you. A lot of people don't want to put the work in. Like God is some ATM where you just punch some things up,
Mhm.
give him a 20-second praise, and he bless you with a husband, a car, a house. And it's not like that. God wants that relationship.
Yes,
And in
yes.
order to get it, we need to walk in the light of his love and admonish him for who he is. If he's that to you, it shouldn't be a problem. I like James 1:17, where it says, every good and perfect gift is from above and coming down from the Father of lights. It's symbolic of his favor, his love, his excellence, his blessing. When God sends it, you just know it when it's from
Yes,
God.
yes.
And it's effortless almost when those blessings come and they light up your life like that. I've walked in darkness through COVID,
Mhm.
through economic shutdowns, through the orange president, the other president, and maybe the orange president again. Lord, help us all, Jesus. But not to offend any of y'all that want to vote for him, I ain't that
Mhm.
dude. I'm sorry. Call me or email me. We'll talk about it. But there's so much going on in the world. The lyrics even say, "This is the time and season. We
Mhm.
need the peace of your presence." I cannot recall the last time we had God's peace resting on the church, on the music industry, all the drama that's going on to start 2024. Are you serious? We're getting criticized for what we're doing in church, criticized for how we're preaching, what we're preaching, what's allowed in the pulpit, what people are doing. We need to just pump the brakes and rest in God's peace and know that He is the one that's still in control. I don't care what our opinions are. Who am I to judge William Murphy or what his church does or anything else? That church was full of people praising God the way they do it. It ain't for me to judge. William's going to have to stand before God, and God's the righteous judge. But if I'm seeing young people, and I know they're not on the street on New Year's Eve and being shot at or shooting at other folk or
Yeah.
doing the things that young people do when they're out and about, man, let that man in this church praise the Lord. I mean, we were thrown out of churches for doing that stuff in the 90s. So I
Mhm.
get it. I know it. But don't judge them
Mhm.
and judge what they're doing and the way they're doing it. And you won't even halfway go to church. You'll log on and talk about all the pastors and what they're going through and the rumors and everything else. But you won't even show up. You won't give. You won't serve in the ministry. But it's a whole lot of this going on online. We have to stop that. We,
Absolutely. Yeah.
especially the church, stop doing this to each other. Walk in God's light, and your miracle can happen now. So you can send your love offering to.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, the song is beautiful. As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my goodness, he is back. He's definitely
he is,
back.
he
And
is
you have
back.
some beautiful songs that play on my shows quite a bit. You did a whole worship project once, which was absolutely
Oh, oh
beautiful.
yeah. Yes,
So many
ma'am.
songs are there.
Yes, ma'am. Now, just to tip the hand, the whole album is coming at the end of the spring, start of the summer, and it's
Yeah.
called Tune and Vibe. Chune and Vybe. Tune and Vibe. And people say, well, why would you name a song, a gospel album, Tune and Vibe? Tune is a patois word, Caribbean word, patois, French Caribbean word that just simply means great song. And vibe is exactly that. It's the presence, a great mood, a peace and passivity, a place of rest, a place of learning,
Mhm.
where we can have great music that puts us in a great place and a great mood. I wanted to do a whole album. It is Afrobeat, Caribbean rhythm centric.
Mhm.
um, so hopefully, everybody understands it's not Burna Boy, it's not Davido, it's Charles Woolfork. And thanks be to God that we can come back with good tune and vibe for everybody.
Wonderful. That sounds awesome, awesome, awesome. I can't wait to hear it. I know I'll be the first one to get it. I'm not even tripping. But okay. Uh, are you still doing the impressions?
Am I still doing? All the people I used to do impressions of ain't here no more.
Yeah, many people still like to hear them though because they love them and you did them so good.
Yeah. Well, my grandmama was in the hospital the other day. You might have seen it on social media. I walked up to my grandmama room. I said, Rose Hampson, it's your grandson, Bernie Mac. He said, get up out the bed. The Lord said, pick up your bed and walk. And she looked at me like this. You will get out of here, you and Bernie Mac. I'm gonna send you
Oh
where Bernie at.
that is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I did Dr. Jones, Dr. Bobby
You
Jones,
did?
Nina Taylor. It's so wonderful to have you here with us today on the Dr. Bobby Jones show.
Yeah.
I can turn around and start interviewing you.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
So talented, multi-talented. Right?
I'm working on my Kevin Hart. He's hard to do though. He's hard to do. I got to go
Yeah.
to school on him a little bit more, but I'll get
Yeah.
him
You
next
working
time
on
we talk. Next time we talk, I'm gonna do my Kevin Hart. It'll be right for you.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, how can people connect with you? I know you already have thousands and thousands of people connecting with you. But how can
Well,
those if
I
you
would prefer. I'm gonna tell people the best way to connect with me is on YouTube. Look at me. Look me up, Charles Woolfork. Look up the new song "Walk in the Light," My Chalet, as well. I won't get into the numbers, but a lot of people are looking at it right now. Thank you all so much in advance for that. You can reach me at officialcharleswoolfork.com or at my Bandcamp page, charleswoolfork.bandcamp.com. And there's a lot of phenomenal, talented underground style musicians there, including my son Ellis, who's released a
well, I
couple
can't
of
believe it's grown, right?
he is and releasing music like his uncle Aaron Lindsay. So that
Yeah.
Ellis is doing instrumental gospel,
He got so much
instrumental
talent
music.
around him. What did you
Uh,
expect?
uh, and then the younger ones are coming. My youngest is 13 now, my baby, and he's if you see on social media,
Mhm.
he's 13. I posted some pictures. He's got an orange coat on. He's next to me, and he
Mhm.
dwarfs me. I'm 6'1" and 3/4. I always tell everybody, give me my 3/4.
Mhm.
But Chase is a big boy,
Wow.
about 5'11" and 217, size 14 foot. And
The
you know,
last
if
time I
any
seen him, he was in mommy's belly.
he was, yeah. Well, he done busted out all over the
Yeah.
place. Like, but it's great. It's great to see
Yeah.
them grow. That's another reason I took a break.
Yeah. Great.
From music and travel and everything. So you want to be the best at as many things as you can
Yeah.
that God has gifted you with.
Mhm.
So contact me. We'll talk about it more when you write me or email me. I'll give you some tips on how to feed a 13-year-old behemoth in your house. He huge. He
Oh,
huge. He's woo. Lord have mercy.
oh yeah, I'm a family of big people too. They got it from my grandfather who was 6'5",
uh
and the boys are very big, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah. And the appetite is going
oh,
nowhere. So but
ridiculous.
yeah, those are the places to contact me though. So hopefully people will
Awesome.
reach out and engage. For booking though, a lot of people
Mhm.
don't know.
Mhm.
You know where they can reach out to if they want to
Absolutely.
book me.
They
And where
know
would
they
that
can
be?
always, any of the people that you see on my show, they know can go to my website at msninataylor.com, and they know that you can email me or even call me there at msninataylor.com. They know that. All right. But my brother, I love you. I thank you so much. The song again is called Walk in the Light. Masale. Am I saying it right?
My,
Masale.
my chalet. It's my,
Mashale.
yeah, there's a SH, but it's spelled
Oh, I felt
SELE.
that when I said it. Oh, that's beautiful.
Chalet.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that's gonna be my new tongue. Yeah, my
Yeah,
chalet. I said, well,
there you
if
go.
if so, you speaking something. I hope you
Beautiful.
understand it. So
It's beautiful. It is a great song. Check it out for yourself. Everybody who I've sent it to, they're like, "Ah, I love this. I need this song now." Okay.
that is a
Check
blessing.
it out.
I'm hoping that a lot of them call you and that we can get back out here and shake hands and
All right.
get back
Yes.
out and preach and sing and workshop folk until they tired of me. So that's what we'll do.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for being on Behind the Mic. Again, check him out at officialcharleswoolfork.com. Right?
Yes, indeed.
All right. Thank you.
Love you, Nina. Thank you so much. God bless.